okay, like last incentive day, your advisory had 60% of the kids that were in incentive day. If you get it up to 70% this week,
get lunch.
We'll have a root beer float for your like to create like a team
team mentality, right.
But that's that's been something new for me, like coming from high schools. I'm like, why would we do incentives? I don't get it.
Credit was such a huge piece.
Well, right. So
my kids would do their work because they want to graduate.
Right, and our incentive with our RTI now is that they get out of the class if for 6 weeks they can show that they're passing grades, but they only get pulled for English and math, and they've already been identified as at-risk kids because of the data, but they don't have to. I mean, it's a year-long class, but they can get out. Yeah. And that's their incentive. It's a credit thing, and it's a free time thing. Like that's their incentive.
But then tell me if this is also because this is what I was hearing through the grapevine. So then a bunch. So Doug, the English coordinator at Eagle Crest, he also is like pushing to do like standards-based grading. And so one thing I kind of heard is even though you guys are looking at the data, it's all the right work. But if you're comparing like data before you start like putting in 50% instead of zeros to what it is now, you don't really know how much of an impact you're having because the grade books look so different now from like if you're not looking at like Aspire testing or things like that or pre-ACT or whatever, and you're looking at where their grades were in the past, because when you're putting in zeros.
Well, I have a kid right now who hasn't turned in one thing, but he still has a 42%. Like he should have a 0%. So if he turns in 3 or 4 things, he basically would be passing. But if it's skills-based and he can demonstrate proficiency on the skill, then why shouldn't he move on? You know, like that's a thing.
Well, Anthony Muhammad said yesterday that when he, like any kid that was going to get a failing grade from a teacher at the end of the grading period, the teacher had to go and make a meeting with him and be like, this is why the kid is going to fail and how to defend. Like they really haven't learned any. They demonstrate zero.
And those are the kids who are in those intervention courses and places too, so that if they're not responding to any of the interventions in place, like then you have to be okay with failing them. And yet it is always the kids of color. Those are the kids who fail everything. I have one kid in particular I'm thinking of. I'm like, he doesn't have a 44%, he has a 0%. But like, is there other systems in place that are preventing him from being successful? And if he can show proficiency on this skill because he actually has been internalizing it, just not doing the work, why am I punishing not doing the work and not reward? Yeah, why? I want to grade the behavior, I want to grade the skill.
What a waste of your time. That's where I get that.
Yes.
This was the thing I could just
never
get
to for a while.
Oh, okay.
And I could never here, and I taught here for a bit, underage before that, but could never get to just really good about grading practices.
Yeah.
And I try a bit of mastery, we'd get a small team of us doing it, and I go back to like, unless you're maybe taking it on like Grandview, maybe Eagle Crest or department down the road, you can't go it alone, because the other thing I've run into is parents, they don't get it.
No, they don't.
They're very much
they don't understand
we've always done it.
And there's like this TED Talk that I watched that I told you about that